Hey, Bills Mafia. We know there's only one topic every day. All Bills, all the time. And now Matt Bove and Sal Capaccio are going really deep, talking Bills all year long, because it's always game day in Buffalo.
Well, we are inside 1 week. Can you believe it? I mean, if you go back to when the season heartbreakingly ended for the Buffalo Bills and their fans back in late January, and you think about the hill to climb to get back to this spot and all the different things you have to go through and marking those, well, we're 200 days away, 100 days away. Here we are, Matt. It is time. It is Buffalo Bills regular season week. Ravens at Bills is upon us. Sunday Night Football. We've been waiting for this, buddy.
How would you explain the emotions? What do you feel right now? Or is it excitement? Is it a bit of nervous energy? Is it a combination of everything? Like, I get weirdly juiced up, but also nervous about the season right now. It consumes so much of our lives professionally, but also personally, and so much of people who are listening to this lives. Like, I have like all of these emotions right now.
So let me just tell you something about myself. Like, when we're going on vacation, my wife always asks me, "Aren't you excited when we leave like in 3 days?" I said, "No, not yet. When it comes time, I will get there, because I have other things to do that I have to focus on to make sure I'm ready to go on vacation." That's where I am right now. So it's a great question, because to me, all I'm thinking about is what I need to do professionally over the next several days, and then those juices will really start flowing on. Literally, won't be till Saturday night. And then it's like, oh my gosh, right? And here we go. I don't think about the other part of it. I would say this, though. I know you and I are different. I think we're different on this. You tell me. Like, I like a bit of a more kind of soft landing, if you will, in week one, if you want to call it a landing, however you want to take off. Like, I liked last year, Arizona at home, Thursday night at the Rams, Monday night at the Jets, Sunday night against the Ravens. My goodness. Like, to me, that's just like, oh my God. I don't love starting like this, and it doesn't mean I think they're going to win or lose. It just means I like when you get, hey, Sunday at 1:00 against a team that you should take care of.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. And to the point of that, I think this is the hardest regular season game the Bills are going to play this year. And I
Probably
think
right.
their week one game. Like, I think the Ravens are as tough of a matchup as you could have. I mean, who else would you
Eagles,
say? You might
Chiefs.
say, yeah, but where the Eagles game is
Right.
makes it such a wild card. And I feel like it's close anyway. And the Bills love playing the Chiefs in the regular season. The Ravens, I know they've beaten them in the regular season before, but they also got walloped by them last year. So, take everything with a grain of salt, specifically with week one. I think if it's a really close competitive game, I think that tells us a lot about both teams. I think they're going to be two of the best teams in the league, and that they're probably going to end up playing again. If it's a blowout in either direction, I still don't think we should be, the sky is falling for whatever team loses, because the Bills got blown out by the Ravens last year in the regular season and then beat them in the playoffs. So, take everything with a grain of salt. But yeah, we're recording this on Monday night. I will think about the game in some capacity, probably every couple hours from now until then. Just, it'll pop into my head and thinking about
just
okay,
even if it's professionally, you're getting stuff done. You're doing your video. I'm tweeting something about the game or stats or looking at research or upcoming what's happening. No doubt about it. And I'm the same way. And I can't get enough of that stuff. I love it. I love creating the content, keeping people informed. But man, you get to Sunday and you're like, wow, like this is a monster game to start with, right? And if you drop this one, you're right. It's not fatal, right? I mean, like last year, you're right. What happened? And it is a marathon, not a sprint. But boy, I do think that, you want to get this one, because after that, I think the Bills have the kind of schedule that can really give themselves a chance to get off to a very, very, very good start.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. And I think the thing that's so interesting about this game too, the football game in itself, it's the best game of the week. It's Josh Allen against Lamar Jackson. We're recording this at almost 8:00. They're about to announce the NFL 100. They're going to be two of the top 5 players in the NFL this year, or from last year, excuse me. So it's an absolutely premier quarterback matchup. It's also the last home opener ever in the stadium.
Yeah.
And that's not lost on me. Like, I know that the game is the bigger thing and the bigger storyline, of course, but I'm going to be thinking about it that the home opener in Western New York is a holiday. Like, if you went and polled Bills fans and said, give us your favorite days of the year, people would probably say birthdays, holidays, any other, meaningful day, Bills home opener. So Bills home opener, last one at this stadium. It's going to be unbelievable.
All right, so let's kind of set you up for today. What we're doing here and this week because we got a lot. We got a lot going on. I'm Sal. He's Matt. You know where to find us at Sal Sports on the YouTube channel, at Sal Sports, and at Matt_Bove on X. All right, Wednesday night we are going to be live at the BFLO store, Transit Town Plaza, Transit Road in Williamsville. Come on out. 6:30 p.m. is when we're going to be there. We're going to be having a lot of discussion about what's happening with the Bills and the Ravens at that time. We'll do a little bit of that tonight. We'll have a lot more information about injuries and things like that.
Mhm.
And it's your chance to browse the store, get some great sales. They got lots of great Bills gear, including their own tailgate collection. Matt, I can't wait to see it. That's at the BFLO store. So make sure you check it out. That's 6:30 p.m. Wednesday night. Come on out, say hi to us. We are live on this show where you can watch it. If you can't come out, you can just watch us live. We're recording now, but you can come out and watch us and be a part of the show. And you can watch us, on the stream itself. While we are there, Nick Ryberg is going to be there. He owns Sojourn Travel Advisors. He's the one that's putting together the big Buffalo Football Legends Cruise, May 10th through 17th next year. I hope you've signed up. If you haven't, you need to go check it out. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to be on board as kind of like the cruise director with all the Bills stuff going on with the legends, Thurman Thomas, Steve Tasker, Don Beebe, Scott Norwood, Butch Roll. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be celebrating Thurman's 60th birthday. Nick's going to join us at the BFLO store for anyone who has any questions about it and to just kind of pump it up and let everybody know. So if you're watching, you're there, all that is taking place. In the meantime, the Bills back on the practice field on Wednesday for an official practice with the media and an official injury report day. No practice for us on Monday, but Matt, I looked around the league. I think the Bills might have been on the field because everybody seemed like they were practicing. We just didn't have any media today.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, things are starting to ramp up. They had the long weekend off, essentially. I don't know exactly what they had on Monday, but I know that they had Friday off. So, getting back into the swing of things. Wednesday, we'll get the first injury report from the Bills. I think for us, all eyes are going to be on the cornerbacks, Christian Benford and Tre'Davious White. At this point on Monday, feeling a bit more confident that Christian Benford plays than Tre'Davious White plays. That said, there have been a couple little interesting nuggets. Like we saw Trey White after practice on Wednesday in the field house, and he looked good. Like he was there. He was chit-chatting with a couple teammates, saw him do like a light jog across the field. That's a good sign. Then there was a clip from Hard Knocks. Now, here's the thing that's interesting about this. It was Deion Dawkins in the field house kind of moving like a little RC car and chasing some of his teammates, and Trey ran fast away from it. We don't know when that clip was from. That clip could have been from 2 weeks ago. That clip could have been from 2 days ago. The only reason it makes me feel like it was recent is because they have been posting content kind of following the timeline of the show. They're not taking clips from the beginning of the series and posting them now. So that was an interesting thing to me. And then
Inspector Bove here. I love it.
Inspector Bove and Khalil Shakir had his pet adoption event over the weekend on Saturday, and Trey White was there. And all of the people who saw him took pictures with him. There have been pictures posted online. I think, no braces, no notable limping, no.
I'm sure some fans like, hey, man, how you feeling, right?
Exactly. And he's probably like, oh, I'm great. Be
yeah,
good,
right.
Whatever. Exactly.
I'll be good.
So, once again, these are this is a hypothesis from me, but I feel better about his chances of being out there than I did a week ago. But I guess I'll learn more. Really, on Thursday is going to be the day when I feel like I've got a good read on it. Because even if he misses practice on Wednesday, but he's limited, like I won't feel like, there's no chance.
I don't disagree. But if he does practice Wednesday,
he's going to play.
I think it's a really, really good chance he plays. If he doesn't practice, then Thursday's really the key day. If he doesn't practice at all on Wednesday, it's not trending well. If he practices limited, I think that's a really good sign. He's probably trending towards, playing on Sunday. If he practices in full, then obviously he's going to be playing. And the other one is Christian Benford, as you said. And then we're going to get to the Ravens in a minute. But, Matt, some big news broke over the weekend. Defensive tackle Dwayne Carter tore his Achilles. He is out for the season. I mean, this is just a terrible blow to a young man who was a third-round pick last year, expected to be part of a rotation this year. Yes, they went out and they signed drafted Deion Walker, drafted TJ Sanders, signed Larry Ogunjobi, but he's suspended, and that's a big reason why I felt Dwayne Carter would have a pretty good role here amongst 5 defensive tackles that they kept on the 53-man roster. But you got to feel really bad for Dwayne Carter. He posted some pictures on social media. It has not been officially confirmed by the Bills, but we know this is the case based on all of that. He'll most likely go on IR this week. That'll open a roster spot. But in the meantime, what do the Bills do without Dwayne Carter? Do they maybe elevate or sign, I should say, Jordan Phillips or Zion Logue? Or do they go out, sign somebody else? Or maybe just go with 4 guys?
Yeah, brutal blow for the Bills right now. A more brutal blow for Dwayne Carter.
Yes.
This is a huge setback in his career, especially because the first year was a bit rocky and there were some injury concerns there. How does this impact the Bills this season? Well, admittedly, it does, but I don't think it is a massive, major blow to their team or their outlook just because he was further down the depth chart. They have a lot of guys at defensive tackle, even with the heavy rotation that they like to use. There were people, I never thought it was realistic, but there were people who didn't know if he was going to even be on the team. So for him, got to get healthy, got to get back in the building, have training camp next year, assuming he could be back out there by then and make an impression because, this is now he's fighting for his career in the NFL.
Yeah.
For the Bills right now, I think the most likely outcome is Zion Logue. I just feel like that would make more sense than Jordan Phillips. I don't think they would bring it because Dwayne Carter, to me, I know that they always talk about the position flexibility and how he could play a little bit of everything. Don't you think they would rather right now bring in another 1 tech than a 3 tech?
I think so. Are you saying it makes more sense than Jordan Phillips because Jordan Phillips just got here?
I'm saying Jordan Phillips, I think, would very clearly be behind in his role, both Ed Oliver and TJ Sanders, even though knowing TJ Sanders sometimes lines up next, or we think will sometimes be lining up next to Ed Oliver. I just feel like Zion Logue has a skill set that would be a smarter fit for what they're missing now on their roster.
I wonder, too, could they sign a player at another position and then just elevate one of these guys over the next few weeks, depending on what they need for that particular game?
Yeah, I think that a cornerback or, like Jabril Peppers is somebody we talked about.
A safety, yeah.
Like, if you wanted to bring in a player like that, and that's your only way of getting him. Let's say that they were interested in Jabril Peppers. Before, it was, hey, come join the practice squad. Like, I just didn't see them cutting somebody for Jabril Peppers. Now you got an open roster spot. Like, now you could theoretically give him a spot on this team. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I do like your idea, your theory, because I do think that, like, hey, you could elevate Zion. You could alternate, right? You could do Zion Logue gets a game, then Jordan Phillips gets a game, and go vice versa, back and forth. And then by the time that's over, Larry Ogunjobi is back.
No, that's exactly right. Let's not forget, there's a couple of guys that the Bills have had before who are still out. I don't believe, I'm not predicting they would do it, but the Bills like to go to guys who know the system. Quentin Jefferson, I believe, still out there, has not signed with anybody. I have to look, but also Ilianku hasn't signed. He's been with the Bills many times over the years. That could be like a practice squad addition, a guy that you want to elevate. So we'll see.
Austin Johnson, he's still out there?
Austin Johnson, yeah. How about this one? Do you think the Bills would be interested in Christian Wilkerson?
Ooh, that's fascinating.
Christian Wilkins. What did I say? Wilkerson?
Yeah, no, you said Wilkerson. I know what you
I know.
meant.
I'm sorry. I thought, that's the wide receiver they have on the roster. You know what I mean?
not if Josh has anything to say about it.
Right. I meant to say Christian Wilkins.
Yeah.
No, maybe, but I don't think that matters, right? I mean, the Bills have signed guys before who've. It doesn't. Really
it's almost like
the Bills talked. The Bills talked with signing Rob Gronkowski after what happened with Travis White.
Yeah, you're not wrong. For him, the injury, like, isn't he going to miss almost all of the year with an injury?
Look, what is his status? I know he had that.
Yeah, I thought he had like a lingering injury where he wasn't even going to be available, and that's why they ultimately cut him.
I don't know. I'm reading something here. Wilkins signed with Packers. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. I'd have to look, but I don't think that's the case with him. Anyway, the reason I bring him up is he was a name that a lot of you asked me when I said, hey, we're doing a pod tonight. Ask us some questions. And that was like the number one question. Would the Bills consider bringing in Christian Wilkins or Jabril Peppers?
Yeah. That's really interesting. The health would matter. It's not a name that I've really thought about. I just don't think it to be very realistic. I don't think Jabril Peppers is like, I think it's realistic. I don't think it'll happen just because the odds of it happening are smaller than the odds of it not happening. But of the two, Jabril Peppers absolutely seems more likely.
All right, Matt Bove, Sal Capaccio here. It's always game day in Buffalo, and now we're getting ready for the Sunday night game. And I want to take a look at the Ravens because, Matt, on Monday, we did get a report from the Ravens, not an official injury report. In fact, John Harbaugh said, not going to talk about injuries. It's funny. They had media. Some teams had media availability. Some teams didn't. Here, we did not. They did there. And I will tell you, 3 players who did not practice for the Ravens. Jair Alexander is still not practicing. He has not practiced since like early August.
Mhm.
and he's still not practicing. At this point, I'm like, that seems like a pretty good long shot for him to play in this game. Isaiah likely broke his foot like 5 weeks
Mhm.
ago, and that's supposed to be like
Yeah.
a 6-week injury. So people think he could come back to practice this week. I don't know. I think that is, pardon the pun, unlikely to happen.
Mhm.
And then the really interesting one is their fullback, Patrick Ricard, has not practiced in a couple of weeks. And he again did not practice on Monday. Boy, that would kind of really change maybe how you think about defending the Ravens a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think that all three of those would be big blows for the Ravens, realistically. Likely when the injury happened in the summer, kind of felt like, hey, maybe he'll be back early in the season, but week one might be a bit lofty. Haven't thought much about Jair Alexander. Still think Jair Alexander can play in this league. I know that he was a big addition for the Ravens, but I don't know how much his availability changes the game plan for the Bills offense. But yeah, Patrick Ricard would be a big blow to the Ravens. He helps a lot of what they do as such a physical force, especially in the run game. So I think that would be, but once again, I don't think my opinion of the game changes knowing with or without like Patrick Ricard is in or Patrick Ricard is out.
No, I don't disagree with you, but I do think it may change the Bills' strategy because this is a game, I believe, Matt, that we might see a little bit different of a look from the Bills. And what I mean by
Yeah.
that is sometimes they've played base defense against the Ravens.
Yeah.
And I really believe that Shaq Thompson is going to play a role on this team this year in that sort of set. And I think this week could be the week. Could be Dorian Williams. They've done that with him as well. But it feels like to me, he was kind of brought in for this type of situation.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that we will see, and that's kind of why when we were making our 53-man roster projections, not about one specific game, but it feels like Shaq Thompson has a skill set that they've been seeking a little bit, and this would be the type of game where that could really shine. So yeah, I think that we will see a little bit of a different approach because that was a notable change they made from the regular season to the preseason or to the playoffs last year. You remember it was also just them getting healthy. There was a screenshot from the broadcast of the Sunday Night Football game where Milano, Terrell Bernard, and Taron Johnson were all off to the side. And, that was going around and it was like, okay, is this really going to make a difference or not? And then look at what Terrell Bernard did in that game. So yeah, I think that, it might change up the strategy for the Bills a little bit. I feel like on obvious passing downs, we'll probably see Taron out there, but I don't know if it's, it's not, I don't think we'll see a snap count like we usually do. Like Taron usually doesn't come off the field. I think in this game, he will come off the field at times.
I agree with you. It is a very, very tough thing to kind of really needle the thread if you're Bobby Babich. We've talked about that with him. Like if you're going to bring a third linebacker in, you're going to have to take your nickel cornerback off, and your nickel corner is maybe arguably the best guy at that in the league. And he's one of your best players on defense. All right. Before we get into a little bit more of a season preview and some interesting topics and predictions we want to make. One other piece of news that came down, the Bills once again, only choosing 2 captains this year, Josh Allen and Terrell Bernard, one on offense, one on defense, as opposed to several other years in the past that we covered the team and they would have 6, 7, 8 captains. They've gone with 2 the last 2 years, this year and last year.
I like it. I think it makes sense. I think you have a voice and a face for the offense and the same thing for the defense. That does not mean that there's other guys on the roster who aren't leaders. There is a leadership council that the Bills have. So a lot of the names that people have thrown out there as like captain snubs are most likely also part of that leadership council. Like I saw a couple people say like, hey, Christian Benford should be a captain. It's like, okay, listen, I would absolutely support that. But Terrell Bernard has done nothing to take the captaincy away from him. And if you're not only going to have 2, really, what else are you going to do? Like you went to the AFC Championship last year. Those 2 guys who are your captains were 2 really, really big reasons why. Doesn't feel like it's anything you need to change. Those are also 2 types of guys who I think want as captains, both on and off the field, the way they kind of approach their day-to-day business.
Last year, I think for me, you tell me if you agree with this. I think making Josh the only captain on offense and keeping only 2 captains total was a lot more about handing the reins to him of this team, because gone were those big personalities of Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. We know Micah came back later, but Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Stephon Diggs, especially, right? Mitch Morse, Gabe Davis, like they were gone. And I think it was really Sean McDermott saying, Josh, you have to be the leader of this team now. You are the leader of this team. And I think that's what a lot of that was about last year.
Yeah, I think so too. But I also think that obviously you have to have somebody on the defensive side of things. And I think that the way Terrell Bernard kind of jumped onto the scene without really anybody expecting it or predicting it, and his work ethic and his just unbelievable knack to make splash plays when the Bills need them the most, I think is something that they really, really value. And I think they want probably most of the guys on that defense to play the way Terrell Bernard plays. So that's why it makes sense. And, but I mean, listen, the leader
He's
of
also
this
the
team
most
is,
vocal because he's got to call the defense.
sure, the leader of this team is Josh Allen.
Yes.
But you got to have somebody for defense too.
Oh, yeah.
And Terrell Bernard
Are you
is a good
surprised?
piece.
Wait, what about I get this question. I actually agree. Maybe they should have somebody for special teams, even if it's, Reed Ferguson, the longest tenured Bill. There's not a special teams captain. There are plays where neither Josh nor Terrell are on the field.
Yeah, it's fine. What they're doing is fine. I don't disagree. If Reed was it would be totally fine. It's not going to be the punter. He just got here. So that leaves Tyler Bass or Reed Ferguson. And by process of elimination, it would be Reed because of tenure. So I don't think that you need
Speaking of Tyler, they worked out some kickers recently. Now, I will tell you, a lot of times, here's what you do a lot of times. And because of Tyler's injury, I don't want to totally dismiss that they're, hey, let's just make sure he's good. That could very well be the case here. But oftentimes what happens, just so everybody knows, teams just bring guys in at different positions early in the season because if something does happen later in the year, you got a guy in already, you looked at him, you talked with him, and you could just give him a call and say, let's go, instead of doing that in the time that when the guy gets hurt and saying, oh, let's bring somebody in and see what he's about. You already know what he's about. So it feels like that's what's happening. But I also think because of the injury, we have to kind of keep our eyes open on that a little bit.
Didn't they work out a couple kickers after Bass struggled early in the season last year?
They signed one. They had one in the practice squad.
Oh, yeah, they did. What was that guy's name? Oh, I would never get to it in a million years. I would never get to it.
But I don't think it's about maybe. I mean, to me, it's about maybe Tyler making sure he's good. If something were to happen to him, tweak something because he's coming back from the injury. I also think here's the other part of this. Just something I was thinking about. Because of the new kickoff rules and what we've seen kickers do, line drives, right? Not going up the air. You don't have to have hang time anymore because everybody just starts when the guy catches it, no matter what that is. Is that maybe something they're like, hey, because of Tyler's injury, we don't want him having to kick like that. Maybe you think about actually elevating or signing a kicker at some point to do. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here a little bit that there is a little bit different strategy for some teams.
You're not wrong at all. But my goodness gracious, if they have two kickers on their roster, then they need to get a new regular kicker who can do both. Like, that is my thought, because Tyler Bass has been a good NFL kicker, but he's not so good that he shouldn't be able to do the other stuff. Because
what if it would be, though, just about kicking it a certain way because of the injury? You don't want to aggravate it, and like that's just kind of a different way to do it.
If that's a couple week elevation thing and you have two kickers active for a couple games, sure, but two kickers on your active roster is obscene. After all of these months of us talking about whether or not the Bills could keep 6 wide receivers, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, but they've got 2 kickers. Like, that's bananas to me.
Would you do you support Tyrell Shavers changing from 80 to 14?
Yeah. I don't care. Yeah.
I care. Make 80 great again. That's what I say. Make 80 great again. Give me another wide receiver who wore number 80. The reason I wore number 80 in high school was because of Jerry Butler, the great Buffalo Bill, and then you had Eric Moulds, the great Buffalo Bill. You had Jerry Rice, you had Steve Largent, you had James Lofton. 80 was always a great receiver number. Tyrell Shavers makes the roster, and I'm not kidding you, Matt Beauvais. I walked up to him. We had talked about the number 80 before, and I'd said, hey, got to be the number, baby. Go make it proud. We were laughing because I told him I had wore 80 in high school. Like, it was great. And then he goes and changes it to 14.
Maybe you shouldn't have said something. Maybe you're the reason.
And maybe he's like, Sal, I can't do that.
Maybe he's like that. He's like, I don't want to have that number because Sal had that number. Here's what I'll say. I like, for Tyrell Shavers, respectfully, very few people have Tyrell Shavers jersey. So this is a change that doesn't impact a lot of people. So I have no issue with that. Right? Because like if all of these people had Tyrell Shavers jersey and then he changed his number.
It's not like Jack Eichel going from 15 to 9.
That's what I mean. It's a very different thing. Yeah. 14 has been a good receiver number for the Bills.
It has.
Right? I mean, most notably Stephon Diggs recently, little Joe Webb before that, Sammy Watkins, obviously. A lot of people still have Sammy Watkins.
Did you just put
jerseys.
Joe Webb in the same conversation and breath as you did?
I'm just going chronologically of the 14s. I remember Joe Webb in the snow game and then Sammy Watkins. Joe Webb. Joe Webb is a reason the drought ended.
Wasn't 14 Fitz also?
Yes, I was
Okay.
getting there. I was
Oh,
just
go
going
ahead.
down the
Okay.
line. I
You
was
go
going
ahead.
down the line.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Didn't
Didn't mean to
Chase
ruin it.
Claypool wear 14 for the Bills
I
last
think
year? I
maybe,
think.
yeah.
So yeah, I have no issue with it.
All right.
I have no issue with it.
I give my full support to Tyrell Shavers changing to whatever jersey number he wants. But man, can we get another really good 80 in this league? I'm old school. I'm nostalgic. I've always hated the whole big number change thing they've done around the league and these single digits on defense and guys wearing 20s at linebacker. What are we doing? All right.
I mean, they have collectively a really weird wide receiver room of numbers. Keon Coleman 0, Josh Palmer 5, Khalil Shakir 10, Elijah Moore, what's
18.
18.
Curtis
Tyrell
Samuel
Shavers
1.
now 14. Curtis Samuel 1.
Yeah, but
All
that's
of their
every team now. It's
all
every
of
team.
their receivers, the highest number from a receiver on their active roster is Elijah Moore at 18.
See, that's what I mean.
That's crazy.
Whatever happened to 80 and 81 and 82? Peerless Price at 81, Eric Moulds at 80, right?
Yeah, that's what I think.
But you still have the tight ends wearing the 80s, and Jackson Hawes 85, Dalton Kincaid 86, Dawson Knox 88. Anyway,
yeah, here's the other thing,
hashtag
though.
make 80 great again.
Okay, here's the thing, though. There's a lot of 80 numbers that are ugly on jerseys. Just admittedly, there are. So, I know some players 83 is a weird number. Actually, is 83 retired? No, it's not.
No, there's only one Bills number retired. That is 12.
Isn't 78 retired?
I don't think 78's retired because nobody wears it. Nobody's actually, right? It's not retired. Ooh, I don't think they actually retired the number.
I thought they
right?
did.
A few years ago, right? A few years ago, they did.
I thought 34, 78, and 12 are retired.
Hold on. I want to look because I thought it was just 12 of them. You're right. I'm sorry. See, that's what
12,
I get.
34,
I'm all in
78.
my feels now about 80, but you're right. All three are retired. My apologies. That's exactly
yeah, but
right.
82 is a weird number for a receiver. I don't like how that looks. 83, Andre Reed, whatever. I don't love the number. 84, I think of Randy Moss in 84,
listen.
but
no. I just want to ask you, does this look weird? Come on, does that look weird?
Is that you?
That's me.
Yeah, it looks good.
See? Come on. Here we go. Hold on. There we go. There he is. Looking like Michigan Wolverines.
The helmets are awesome.
Yeah, it was the Michigan helmets, the Eagles, Cleveland Hill Eagles. There you go.
Yeah, those are clean.
All right. Well, there you go. That's why number
8. I'm a jersey number snob. If I had this conversation with a couple of people at work the other day. They were talking about what jersey they wanted. And I think if you're going to get a jersey, you got to have a jersey with a cool number. But I also like obscure jerseys. So,
All right, let's move on and talk a little bit about the season itself and have a little fun here, Matthew Beauvais. Let's throw up the schedule. All right, we got a little schedule graphic we can throw up. And by the way, apologies to those of you not watching, but you should be watching on YouTube at Sal Sports. But it's okay if you can't. We have a schedule graphic up right now. It's got the entire 17-game, 18-week schedule for the Buffalo Bills. Matt Beauvais, what game are you most excited for this season?
Wow, that's a fun one. I've gone a couple different ways here. I feel like I'm genuinely the most excited for week 1, but that's kind of a crummy answer. I'm going to give you a little bit of a weird answer or a unique answer.
Oh, could be the same as mine. Go ahead.
I'm really excited for the Sunday Night Football game against the Patriots in week 5.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Really interested. The Stephon Diggs coming back to Buffalo, the rivalries jerseys, even though I don't think they're spectacular, I still think that they are cool and unique. I think that stage, I think the Patriots are going to be much improved. I think that they're going to finish second best record in the AFC East. I think that they could even compete for a playoff spot. It just feels like there's going to be some good juice to that game. Week 1 already has juice, but something about Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football always just feels different. It just really does.
That's why I am going with a night game as well. And I actually think there's 2 of them for me that are very exciting for 2 different reasons. I'm actually really excited for the Thursday night game in Houston because of the way the Bills were played last year. The way Josh Allen played was not good. And boy, the Texans, I mean, it's an interesting team. CJ Stroud, after everything that happened, it's a night game in Houston, week before Thanksgiving, November, could mean a little bit, in the AFC. We'll see where things are falling. I'm excited for that game mainly because I just think the Bills need to atone for the way they played last year. That game.
Keep talking about how excited you are because that game is on Channel 7 locally. So it's going to be the greatest game of all time.
Well,
the coverage is going to be unmatched, and it's the best game that's ever been played.
And I'll give you another one that I think should be you're affiliated with. I think the Monday night game at
in
Atlanta
Atlanta.
is going to be really good. And you know why? I'm looking forward to the jerseys, the
Mhm.
helmets. You got
Yeah.
the throwback helmets for the Bills. You got the throwback helmets for the Falcons. I think that's going to be super cool. Plus, the Falcons could have a pretty exciting team. We don't know.
Mhm.
It's a night game and it's in Atlanta. Lots of Bills fans are going to be there. I'm excited for those two games.
Yeah, I think that those are the two
Is that
most
an
difficult.
is that an ESPN game?
So no, that
I'm
game is
sorry.
it's okay. That game is that game is an ESPN game.
Okay.
Okay, listen how crazy this is. But ABC is airing a doubleheader that night. So locally in Buffalo, we
Oh.
won't be allowed to air the Bills game.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so that's.
Okay.
But still,
I'm
I think
sorry.
it'll be a very fun game. I think it'll be an exciting game.
We'll go back to the
I think
Houston game. That's most
I think
exciting.
exactly. I think those are the two hardest road games the Bills play, which I think also says something about the Bills' schedule. I don't
sure.
think that a lot of people are talking about how easy the schedule is. The Vegas over-under is 12.5 for the Bills wins. Whatever you think, how they fall, are they over, are they under, whatever it is. The fact that all of their hard games are at home and they were undefeated at home last year, I think does give me some optimism that they could, really string together.
I don't disagree. I just want to be careful with saying that, right? Because you never know who jumps up and is like, could Pittsburgh suddenly be really good? We don't know, right? I mean, like,
Sure,
that's a road game. Could Atlanta suddenly be really good? Like, to me, you could have some really challenging road games.
I don't disagree with any of that, but you could, right? The word could is doing a lot of lifting there. I feel really confident with the Bills in most of the road games that they're playing, whereas in years past, it's been at least right now projected as a tougher look. And I just think the Bills are a really hard team to beat at home. They got 9 home games this year. If they go 5-4 at home, I think people would be super disappointed.
Yep.
But even if you go 5-4 at home, I think you're still looking at like an 11-win season.
It's a great point. No, you're right. The schedule certainly sets up for maybe a little tease here, something we're going to talk about in a little while. Before we get to that, though, all right, Matt, let's give a couple players to watch that we're really excited about this year. I'm going to start here. We're going to go one on offense, one on defense. We'll go on offense. I hope I don't take yours. The guy I'm really excited to watch this year on offense is Keon Coleman.
Yeah, that's what I always said too.
Well, with everything we're hearing about him from Deion Dawkins, from Josh Allen, from Joe Brady, from Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane, I just think Keon Coleman could really be ready to have a nice kind of breakout second year. I don't know what that looks like though, because everybody eats, and I get that. And I don't need him to have 120 targets, but I do think he's going to be a player that makes big plays for this team.
Yeah, I agree. I had my fantasy football draft for a league that I've been in for a long time, and somebody took Keon a bit earlier than, his average draft position is last night. And I just kind of they looked at me and I kind of nodded. I'm like, I think that he's going to be something this year. I really do. Just the way that his teammates have talked about him, how I don't want to say strong his summer has been, but how there have been far more good days than bad days. I like that. I'm going to also, it's not the most interesting thing, but talking about the offensive line feels like it would be a little, I don't know how excited people would be about that. We already know about the quarterback. We know about the running backs. Josh Palmer is really interesting to me. Like Josh Palmer, was the first move they made in free agency. Like clearly they value this guy. Clearly they targeted this guy. They gave him a good amount of money. I think that Josh Palmer is going to have a noticeable and sizable role on this team. I don't think it's crazy that I think Khalil Shakir will lead the team in targets offensively. Like I think it'll be Shakir or Dalton Kincaid, one of those two. But I think Josh Palmer could be around the same number of targets as Keon Coleman. I think they're going to be used differently, though. I think Keon Coleman is going to be a red zone threat, go win contested catches down the sideline. I just think Josh Palmer is going to get used a lot. And
all over the field.
Always talks about how well he separates.
Yeah,
that could be a really nice addition to this offense.
All right. I'll let you go first then on the defensive side.
Joey Bosa.
Ooh,
I think Joey Bosa has a lot of gas left in the tank. That said, you got to keep the engine running. Got to keep him healthy. You got to make sure that he is available when you need him to be. But I think that he has been the most impressive player I don't want to say the most impressive player on that side of the ball, but the guy who I've noticed the most, and I'm probably watching the line a lot more just because of all the additions they've made there. And it feels like he's going to be able to provide an almost Greg Rousseau level of impact from what we've seen in years past. But that is so substantially more than they have gotten from that since the Von Miller injury. And it feels like that could really unlock. I just think about the sample size was really small, but those first like 8 games until Von Miller got hurt, the defense looked so good compared to how they have looked ever since then. If this defensive line can cook, I think that the problems in the secondary can be masked a little bit. And I think Joey Bosa will be a big factor, if they're able to have that success.
First of all, shout out to you for being physically around everybody who's drafting in your fantasy football league instead of just doing it online. I like that. All right. That's number one. Number two, I'm so glad you said and put like that type of play with Rousseau in the same breath, because so many people tell us all the time, well, Rousseau really hasn't been great. Dude, he's been really, really good. I mean, he's a really good player. And he's not getting 15 sacks a year, but holy cow, like this guy, he does so much for this team and he really is an important piece. So that's great on your part. Guy, I'm really looking forward to watching. I'm going to give you one on that. I have 2 actually, but the first one is Deion Walker, because I'm just excited. Like what can he bring from what we've seen in preseason? But who knows how much he's going to be on the field. The guy I'm really pointing to here, though, is Matt Milano. I just think Matt Milano has had a fantastic preseason and camp. He looks great. And boy, if Matt Milano can be healthy, good, really even close to what we've seen All-Pro Matt Milano be before, my gosh, what a great, great benefit that would be to this Buffalo Bills defense. You made a great point to me last week when we were in the field house. You said, did you go back and look at that Cardinals game and who they were playing on defense in week 1 last year? And I did that. I went back and watched it the other day.
It was bad.
And like Taron Johnson gets hurt early. But look, Dorian Williams had a nice year last year, no doubt. But man, like it's different having Matt next to Terrell Bernard, right? You know what I mean?
There were times last year in the Arizona game, and it's going up against the Ravens is a hell of a lot different than going up against the Cardinals. But I was watching back that game, and it's like, okay, all of a sudden on defense at the same time, you've got Dorian Williams out there, Cam Lewis out there, DeMar Hamlin out there, Casey Tuhill out there, AJ Epinesa out there. And like, I'm not trying to pile it on these guys. And then like Austin Johnson and whoever, it's just the level of talent and skill wasn't even close to what they should be able to put on the fields this year when healthy. But a lot of that will depend on Christian Benford and the safeties and Matt Milano and all of that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, like I think that's a really good pick from you, Milano. He's been maybe the most pleasant surprise of the summer. He has looked every bit like Matt Milano, which is a really good thing for the Bills.
Love it. No doubt. I love seeing it, and I'm really hoping that it carries over into the regular season for the Buffalo Bills. All right. We're going to both give a bold prediction here before we get on out of here. It could be kind of anything around the team that you want. So I'll let Matt start first.
Mine's bold. Do you want me to finish? Mine's bold.
Okay. Yeah, mine isn't like super bold. I think that people have thought about it. They've said it. But, Matt, let's go back to your schedule point. I do think that this year, the Bills will do the one thing they have not done yet. Get the 1 seed.
Yeah.
My bold prediction is the Bills finish first in the AFC with the 1 seed. And I think a lot of it is, for me, the schedule is very conducive for them, right? They have a very good team. They have Josh Allen. They have a schedule that sets up for them to get the 1 seed, because I also think teams are better in the AFC West, the Chargers, the Broncos. I think the Chiefs could have a couple of losses along the way that could really hurt them where they might otherwise not have had. And last year they pulled out a few games that we think they got lucky, whatever, but they were able to do that. Ravens, they got to go through the Bengals twice. They got to go through the Steelers twice, which is always tough for them. The Browns always give them a tough time. Maybe another team sneaks up there, but I just think the Bills have everything set up for them. And my bold prediction is the Buffalo Bills will have the 1 seed. They'll have that first round bye, and they're going to be set up to play 2 games at home to finish out Highmark Stadium before trying to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's a very good bold prediction, and I think it leads nicely into what mine was going to be. My bold prediction is that the Bills are going to win the final game ever inside Highmark Stadium against the Kansas City Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl, and will stop the Chiefs from going to 4 straight Super Bowls. Amazing. And that's going to be the story that's on the line, right? It's going to be the Chiefs and the Bills this team that you have not beat in the playoffs, that has beat you 4 straight times in the playoffs, is now trying to go to 4 straight Super Bowls. The only other team that has ever done it is the Bills, and it's the final game inside the stadium. Taylor Swift is at halftime, so everybody thinks that the league is rigging this for the Chiefs, and everybody's like, what is going on?
Yep.
And my take is that the Bills are going to win the final game inside that stadium and punch a ticket to the Super Bowl, where they will take on the Green Bay Packers. And the Super Bowl, mind you, is in San Francisco, which is essentially Josh Allen's hometown. It's also, I believe, we have to fact check this, at the time of the game, the only place where Josh has not played an NFL game.
I believe that's right.
Because he played against the 49ers, but it was in Arizona.
That's correct.
The COVID year.
Yep.
He has not played in San Francisco as, a National Football League player.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's played in Atlanta, but he will this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he has played in Carolina. But once again, he will this year. Knock on wood, assuming he's healthy. So, yeah, that's my
Josh played in Tampa?
Yes. The game that they lost to Tom
Brady. Oh,
Brady
yeah, that's right.
overtime.
Tom Brady on overtime.
Bills were down huge at the half, came back.
That game kind of changed. That game was like, remember that? And they kind of ran the table after that.
That game changed the season. That game saved the Bills season, even though it was a loss. They've had a couple things like that, actually. That game did that. The loss to the Eagles a couple years ago in that monsoon, right before the bye week, kind of changed their season, even though they lost that one. So, and just remember, everybody, like, we'll do another podcast later this week, but if they lose to the Ravens, it does not mean that they're a bad team or that the season is going to be a disaster. It means that the Ravens are really, really good. But remember, the thing about the Ravens is that they're really, really good until they get to the playoffs, and sometimes they slip up. The Bills, have played well in the playoffs, except against the Chiefs.
3 quick things for you. Number 1, next time we talk to everybody, Jessica Pegula will have played in the quarterfinals, trying to get to the semifinals of the U.S. Open for the second straight year. Remember last year she made the finals.
She's playing right now, right?
No, she won. She's in the she's in the quarterfinals.
No, I think she's playing in the quarterfinals tonight.
No, not till tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tonight. It's Monday night right now, folks. She's playing on Tuesday.
Okay, my bad. I thought it was tonight.
No, she's playing Tuesday in the quarterfinals. If she wins, she's in the Final Four. Good luck to Jessica Pegula. That's amazing.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
love it.
Absolutely.
Right? So that would be awesome if she could do that. Number 2, I am currently, as I'm doing this, watching Bill Belichick's debut as head coach of North Carolina, his college coaching debut. Did you see what he did with the depth chart?
So stupid.
I agree. People think it's funny. I think it's stupid. So in case people don't know, he released a depth chart for North Carolina. He left it blank. I mean, come on. It's not funny to me. Like, what are we doing? Let's help people out. Who's playing where? You don't even have to have it completely accurate. Maybe you have a guard listed that's not really the starter and the backup is, or the running backs rotate. Who cares? But come on. What? That's just, to me, just really stupid.
The NFL Top 100 countdown is underway.
Okay.
Patrick Surtain, 10. Justin Jefferson, 9. Myles Garrett, 8. Derrick Henry, 7. Joe Burrow, 6. Patrick Mahomes, 5. So Josh Allen will be in the top 5. I would imagine number 1 is Lamar, Saquon, or Josh.
Is this on, where is it, NFL Network?
I think so.
Right, as soon as I'm done, as soon as Mike hits the end button here, I'm going to go watch that. All right, last thing for you. Matt, I got a question for you. Is there something that you own way too much of? Like, normal people shouldn't own this many of these things or something.
That's a great question. No, not that I can think of.
Number 1 for me, there's 2 things. Number 1, coffee cups. I have way too many coffee cups, but I love them. Like, there's different ones I have.
I like coffee cups.
Yeah, but I got a lot of coffee cups. I don't need them all. Actually, I drink a lot of coffee, so they come in handy, but I have a ton of coffee cups.
Toddler girls' clothes is my answer.
Okay. Well, number 2, I'm just going to show you this. I posted this on my Instagram and Facebook. I went through, I was trying to get all my credential ready and all this. These are lanyards. Okay. I save all my credentials and lanyards. I got lanyards all over here. So they're going to wear.
That's crazy.
There we go. We're wearing all these lanyards, folks. There it is. I got way too many lanyards. I got stuff from London on here. Bill's lanyards.
What's your coolest credential that you have saved? I mean, I'm sure it might be the same answer as me.
Maybe London.
Yeah, London's cool. I mean, I guess I have it's over there. You don't see it on the other end of where I'm recording this now. I have like a shadow box full of credentials.
Yeah.
The coolest game I've ever covered is 13 Seconds at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
The coolest credential I have might be the Blue Jays' first game in Buffalo for
like
the COVID year. Like, that's a very unique,
for sure,
cool thing to have.
I did save, and I know that sounds a bit weird to say, on the sidelines, we have to wear an armband to show we're supposed to be on the sidelines. The only armband I have saved was from the DeMar Hamlin game.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I've got that credential somewhere.
It's the only, I have every credential I've ever had. I've literally sorted them out, Matt. I go back to my sideline debut as a Bills sideline reporter was 2014. I have every single game, every road game credential, 2014, 2015, 2016, and they're all stacked in neat order. And I do that. And then they all had lanyards, and here are the lanyards. And that's why for over the years.
Yeah, I think that this stuff is cool. This is a picture. Yeah. It might be hard to tell. That is Josh Allen's first ever game. That's me standing next to him walking off the field. So
not his first ever game. His first ever home game.
His first ever game. His first ever game was,
he played his first ever
start. His first ever start.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, his first ever start. He went in Baltimore for like a quarter. But yeah, his first ever start, they lost to the Chargers in 2018. But it's a cool picture. First ever game inside the stadium.
I'm mad at myself because I did not save it somewhere in this house. Maybe I have it. I doubt I do. I have a credential from when when Syracuse played UConn in a 6 overtime game at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, that's sweet.
That would have been a cool one to keep.
I'm staring at a Syracuse credential.
But I got a coffee mug from that game.
There you go. I'm staring at a Syracuse credential right now when UB played them a couple years ago and destroyed them in the Dome. UB basketball.
Love it.
That season.
Oh, yeah. Listen, we're going to be back on Wednesday. Come to the BFLO store if you're around Western New York. We're going to be there. Transit Road, Williamsville, 6:30 p.m. start time. We're doing this show live. You can also just watch live. And then we're ready to rock and roll for Sunday. But come on out, see us, say hi. Say hi to Nick Ryberg. Learn about the cruise that's coming up next year. Any questions, he'll answer them for you. Got to check out their tailgate clothing selection in line that they're going to be making sure they put out there for everybody to see. And it's going to be an amazing, a lot of clothes, different kinds of items you can buy. Anyway, the whole point is get to the BFLO store. Matt, I will talk to you on Wednesday. We will be at practice on Wednesday. That's the first time we'll hear an injury report for the Bills and the Ravens. Thank you very much to Mike Rabier, our producer. And I guess that's it, right, buddy?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get ready. Regular season week 1. Here we go.